We found a beach in the mountains. What do you think?
Time to get the bikini on.
Yeah, nobody wants to see my banana hammock. August 7th, 2021. And I got convinced by a crazy person to come hiking in the mountains in the smoke. It was mainly my idea to go anyways, but we're gonna come and explore a very this is a famous trail.
It's a popular trail, the Helen Lake.
It's a popular trail to Helen Lake, and there's a peak in behind Helen Lake called Cirque Peak, which we might try to do today. But at the top here, there's multiple lakes, and there's kind of like an open meadow. So to get all the way up to the top of Cirque Peak, you're looking at well, 6 kilometers to get to Helen Lake, and then another 2 kilometers I think to get to the peak. Or you could just explore the other lakes that are around, because there's more than just Helen Lake and Katherine Lake. There's like all these little ponds too all around. So we got here kind of late for a hike. We're only starting at 10 o'clock in the morning here, 10:30. Normally on a hike we'd be up and gone by 8. We were hoping that the weather would change, but apparently not. But it's quite the popular little trail, because there was at least, what, like 20 cars parked down there? Yeah. A lot of routes, kind of wide. First 2 kilometers or so should be in the forest.
I thought it was in the forest all the way up to Helen Lake. Maybe I just assumed that it was.
We'll see here. Oh, she might be right. We might be in the forest longer than we think, because to get to Helen Lake, you basically have to go around an entire mountain. Yeah. 2 kilometers up, the trail has these little spurts where it goes up steep a little bit and then kind of flattens out, and up steep and flattens out. And now we've hit our first kind of small clearing, which you can't really see much because of the smoke. There's a lot of blueberries here, or Saskatoon berries, or whatever type of berry you want to call them. We had some of them and they tasted like blueberries, but there's another type on the other side of the trail. There's also a lookout. You can see it right in behind me here. That lookout is a separate trail, and from the trailhead you could take a different direction and go all the way straight up to that one instead. But it's not the same trail you would take to get to Helen Lake. And also discovered something along the trail is that the mountain beside Cirque Peak, Dolomite Peak. And I didn't realize why it's called Dolomite, but this entire area here, there's dolomite. It's like that pinkish rock, and it's all over the place. So hence why they probably called that one Dolomite Peak. It might be an area where this type of rock formation was very common. And you can even see it, that pink rock, that's all dolomite. Same thing with this here. 3.3 to 3.4 kilometer mark on the trail is when you actually turn around, because you have to go all the way south and then you turn around and go north to basically go around this ridge here. You can see Dolomite Peak here to my right. So this is Dolomite Peak, which I was talking about before, and too bad for the smoke and you can't really see, but you can tell from here that a lot of the rock that's in there on the top especially is dolomite, so it would be like kind of a pinkish hue, pinkish color. I think most of the elevation gain has been done to get to the lake, and I think the only time you're going to hit a lot more elevation is if you decide to go to the Cirque Peak. But I think that even if you're uncomfortable doing scrambles and screes, I don't think this one is as bad, but if you're not comfortable doing those, you don't have to, because there's like this little meadow and plateau on the top here with a bunch of these different lakes, which can make it totally worthwhile going for a hike and turning around. You don't have to go to the end of the trail. Right?
That's right.
You sure?
I'm positive.
So now we're gonna do the long route, the extra 20 kilometers around,
Yes.
and just climb Mount Everest.
Yes.
Okay, deal. I got the evidence now that she said yes. You'll find these great little meadows that are formed up in behind me here, and even on the other side. These are a lot of these types of flowers that you don't even see in Whitecourt or around our place at all. You only see them when you come up to the mountains. And yeah. So once you've passed the flat bit, you'll hit the top of a ridge. And then you come up in this nice clearing, this great little open space here. You can see the mountain behind me here. That's basically what we had to hike around to get to the Helen Lake. So after looking at this here more carefully, there is a spot where you could hike up and down this side. Probably shave a kilometer off your trail. I don't think it's worth it, because it'd probably be way more difficult to get around there. Walking by this little creek here that's probably fed from Helen Lake, is my guess. Kind of cool. You need a shower?
No, too cold for me.
Too cold for you. But we got it's a very pretty meadow. It's not what I pictured at all. Sometimes you'll go on a hike and then you'll see something on the maps and then you'll be like, oh, like, you can kind of look at the aerial view, but you don't have an idea what it looks like till you get there. What's misleading too, some of the satellite imagery has snow covered all over, so you can only tell if there's trees or not. It goes down for a little bit and you can cross the creek and it's back over up and around the meadow and then down to Helen Lake. So 6 kilometers up, pretty much exactly on the nose. We got to Helen Lake. It started to rain now, so I don't know how well it's gonna look on the lens here, but I think we're just gonna have lunch down here, kind of more protected from the wind. Nice view here of Helen Lake. You can go around the backside and now you have this little incline to go up. You just kind of come up here and then it turns over on the scree here and goes up. Heather's cold, so she's trying to keep warm. She's going way ahead of us here to try to keep warm. And on top of here, on this ridge, there's actually an opening and you can either head towards the Cirque Peak or you can keep going towards, it's called Katherine Lake. Especially in a place like this, always come prepared with a lot of extra stuff. I'm wearing half the gear that I normally carry around in my backpack and never use. We got like this mist, this cold, misty rain here. Gorgeous view behind us. It's just too bad that it's smoky because it'd be even more beautiful. But yeah. get on top of here, and then you can't see Helen Lake anymore. You get on top of this crazy looking, it's definitely a meadow, but it's more like a bowl. So everything that's behind us here, you can't really tell too well with the weather. But everything in the back here, that's Cirque Peak at the top, which we're not gonna go at the top because A, it's wet, and B, it's raining, and then there's smoke on top of it. So halfway up, you get complete overcast, or you can't even see anything at all. But instead, we're gonna go to Katherine Lake. So you just keep following this little ridge, and you can get down to said Katherine Lake, which is right over there. So this is kind of like an open, big open meadow. And at the far back, you can go all the way down to Katherine Lake. There's not a whole lot of vegetation. I'm going out of my way to not step on any because we're kind of off the path. Arrived to the bottom of this meadow and the very north portion of Katherine Lake, which is a nice little hike down here. And you got, see here, these like slopes. So along the slopes here, there's some dirt, and you can see that there's some flowers and stuff, but we were at the very top portion here, and on the top of these slopes are all just shale and rock, not a whole lot growing. And then we come across the gorgeous Katherine Lake. And even though we're like what, the first week of August, probably well shaded in, 2 or 3 big clumps of snow here. Still hasn't melted yet. There's a lot of people coming out here trying to fish because I guess that Parks Canada was coming in here to kill the fish. Not too sure. We found a beach in the mountains. What do you think?
Let's get the bikini on.
The bikini on? Yeah, nobody wants to see my banana hammock. We're on the very north part here. There's no actual trails down south. I mean, you could walk south of the lake, and if you keep going, you end up on the side of Dolomite Peak. So you just start walking into the side of a mountain here. A little beachy part here, the northern part. But yeah, it's really a shame that it's raining and smoky today, because this would make some pretty incredible footage. It's still incredible nonetheless to be stuck in the middle of this big valley surrounded by mountains. Can't go wrong with that. This water is just ridiculously clear. There's nothing in here. Do I still have to do the music? No. A while back we had to cross the lake because we went all the way to the end of a valley. There wasn't even quite of a trail to get to the end, but we got to the end of this valley. Amazing glaciers, amazing views, but now we're on like the south side of a lake, and we need to get on the north side so we can get back on the trail. And we tried one way and we tried another way, and then finally we're like, okay, we don't have a choice, so we have to take off our shoes, our boots, and our socks, and we had to walk across the cold water.
Well, it was a lake that had chunks of ice and glacier in it, not just cold water.
Oh, Yes, there was glacier in it. Yeah. To be fair, there was a chunk of ice, I'm pretty sure it was bigger than my Jeep. And this is in July. Yeah. So it was refreshing for our toes, correct? Correct?
No, I swore because it hurt.
She disagrees thoroughly. All right, let's keep walking, guys. All right, so this is the end of our little adventure for today. Behind us here is Katherine Lake. We got an amazing view, and even in behind us, all around 360, you got wonderful views here. Just cloudy, rainy. So this is our exploration of Helen Lake and Katherine Lake at the Cirque Peak Mountain Trail. My name is Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. Peace out.